All right. Well, fuck it. Let's just jump right back into it. All right.
Get your own damn boy.
Stupid, bro.
It's been a fun night. It's been a fun night.
Yes,
It's been
it
a good
has.
day. Played a little golf earlier. Jordan is red as hell.
I am very sunburnt, so yeah, it's not it's not movie magic. I am red.
What did you come out and say? I look like I have a disease.
I look like I have a disease, and you guys so very quickly reminded me that I do.
Well,
Oh man. Well, so we were all at a meeting. We were at a meeting recently, and it was a really good meeting. And the topic of that meeting was hardships. And I thought there was just a lot there. And it was one of those meetings. It just really hit me. It really hit me hard.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were reading it, and it brought me back. It was off of Just for Today. But when they were reading that Just for Today, man, it brought me back to when I was in treatment, and the counselor, the therapist, was trying really hard to get me to write a goodbye letter to my addiction. And I know this is a common practice. My sponsor had me do it the first go around the steps. And I didn't want to do it at all. And I sat there and I argued with the counselor, and I told her I wasn't going to write a goodbye letter. And she just said, well, just write a letter, just write it, just whatever. So I sat there and I wrote a letter out as to why I was not saying goodbye to my addiction. And I fucking handed it to her, and I read it to her. And the gist of that letter was, I basically said, if I survive you, you will have provided me with a strength that not many people will ever have. And I said, for everything that you have taught me, I sincerely want to say thank you and fuck you. And I remember that was like the first time that I had ever looked at my addiction as a possible strength in my life. And it was crazy because I'm in treatment. I'm broken down. I went through the ringer, just came off a horrible detox. But I remember just this weird thing came over me, and it was like the first time that I truly felt and experienced I can truly take this and turn it into something amazing. Because I do believe that we learn from our difficult times. I think we learn from very difficult times. Donnie, I know you're real big on that too. Always talking about learning from those tough times, man.
Yeah, for sure. I believe if like my whole perspective has changed on hardships and struggles in life, because in my addiction and prior to being in recovery, like actually diving into recovery and the 12 steps and seeing my life basically like the whole past, I dwelled on struggles and hardships to the core. Like I replayed those hardships and those struggles over and over in my mind, like every day. And then I think that created so much stress and anxiety in my current mind, like in the present moment, that I wanted to just mask all those feelings and emotions, because they would continuously come up because I would keep revisiting them in my mind over and over and over. And, it wasn't until I came in the program and learned a lot of shit from a lot of people. And like, these are just recent breakthroughs, like throughout, the second year of sobriety is really when you start like noticing even more stuff about yourself and growing to like a whole nother level, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, like everything. So yeah, my whole perspective on hardships has changed completely.
Do you think a lot of that is when you're like sitting there dwelling, do you think that a lot of that is because we're just so stuck in self-pity for so long too?
So that was my next, yeah. So I was the victim, dude. Like right. I was the victim of my circumstances or hardships as I thought they were. I mean, they were pretty messed up things that, like...
Yeah, this is not to invalidate any experience, right? Like, this is not to invalidate any trauma, whatever, any personal trauma.
Yeah, every person has their own experience and their own trauma, and it affects them their own way. Like, what I think is something huge, maybe something tiny to someone else, and what I think is tiny, maybe huge to someone else. So I can never judge someone else's hardships or their experiences and say, like, quit being a bitch, right? Because I've done that. And I'm like, now I have, like, I don't know, feelings like for that, like I accept, whatever they're going through. But yeah, the victim, man. And I don't know about you guys, but I replayed, like just recently, I realized this, that I replayed hardships over and over and over in my mind. And every time they do, it multiplies in my mind.
Are you saying you replay hardships over in your mind right now in recovery?
No, not. So before, like, I really started diving into all those and accepting them as it happened and looking at it as a lesson now. Like before, I guess I worked through the steps. Like the steps brought all this out, right? I would revisit them over and over and over. And that's a repetitive thing that I couldn't control because my body was almost addicted to it and subconsciously, I didn't even know because that memory would pop in my mind. I would grab onto it. It would magnify in my mind because that's we have such a vivid memory of those that it replays in my mind to even bigger and bigger. And then it creates a chemical of emotion and feelings in my body. And then my body and my mind get addicted to that without me even knowing.
Damn.
And that's why we keep revisiting that shit over and over and over.
Do you think that has to go and do you think that goes anything along with that whole comfortable in chaos, comfortable with like destruction, or comfortable in my own sick?
That's why we get addicted.
We get addicted to
fucking. Get addicted to chaos. Get addicted to bad relationships, like anything that creates that feeling and that emotion, whatever. But yeah, man, I look back, dude, at some hard times like growing up, as a kid and all that, and I used to think that stuff was like, I wanted to hide all that from the world. Like, dude, I can remember heating my house with wood, bro, like as a kid. Okay, and it was hooked to my water tank, my hot water tank. So if I didn't fucking put wood in my wood burner, and remind you, my wood burner is outside in the cold. So if I wasn't out there before school filling this wood burner up, I didn't have hot water for school. And my house was freezing cold because of everything else. And I would fucking split the wood. I would carry the wood. I'd be out there shoveling coal into a wood burner at fucking 5 a.m. before school.
Dude, I just picture you
to take a hot shower, bro.
Dude, did you go to high school in the 1700s?
That's what I know. That's exactly. I'm like, in my mind, Donnie's like in Lawless, the movie. He's over there talking about moonshine and saying, "I'll be there in a minute, Pa."
Seriously, man. I think back, that shit built character, man. Like,
that's pretty crazy.
Well, I remember you talking about working fucking electric poles in the middle of like the blizzards and shit like that. All the snow, whatever you're like.
No, water main breaks.
You want to build character and shit.
Yeah, sewer lines, bro, and fucking -10 degrees, 2 foot of snow, and I'm in a trench that's 8 feet deep filled with fucking water.
You made a good call moving to Arizona, bro.
I made a good call of getting out of the shit I was doing.
Yeah.
Was that fun for you, dude? Because I know when I was doing shit like that when I was a little kid, it's like your perspective on like life and like something like. To an adult, it's like, fuck that, I don't want to do that. But as a kid, you're like, oh, you kind of volunteer for that shit because it's kind of fun, right? Something that you don't really do on the daily, I guess. I mean, at least for me,
it was fun it was my life.
Repetitive.
That was my life, dude. Like I had to do that because I didn't have money to it was just when times were tough. I didn't have money to heat our house with oil because oil was fucking crazy, like $4 a gallon. So I'd split wood But no, it was fun at first. Like, it was like this experience. I'd go cut the trees down and then we would split them and stack it and then carry like all this stuff. It was cool. But it was over the years and years and years. I did this for probably 6-7 years of my life, dude. At least. Like every day.
Very fun after a while.
Dude, and then I heated my garage with it. Like it became such a chore just to live. Like just to survive that it was tiring. Like I was just tired just trying to get by, at one point. Not to say like
right.
It just became a routine. It was normal to me after a while.
No,
but totally. I never want now not doing that. I look back and I'm like, damn, dude, that was a lot of energy. I used to get so fucking high, bro, and split wood, dude.
No wonder you smoked crack, dude.
You gotta keep fucking going.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Stay warm too. Cargo shorts and t-shirts on.
Only thing, was a little crack to warm them up.
Were you barefoot, dude?
Wasn't wearing any shoes.
He was practicing the Wim Hof method with a fucking crack pipe.
I'll tell you, there was this guy, dude. They used to work for my dad and my uncles, bro, from Australia. Dude was a fucking savage.
Already a gnarly dude.
Gnarly as hell, bro. He never wore shoes. Ever. Did not wear shoes. Like, that was against his shit. He didn't wear shoes. He'd show up on a construction job, digging footers, like raking slag, no shoes.
Get the...
I swear to God, his feet were like rocks, bro. We called him the mate. His name was the mate. Like, that was his.
Hey, man.
What's up, mate? What's up? Yeah, that was his.
Man.
That was
why
his
though?
name,
Like, why though?
I don't understand that.
That was just how he grew up, dude. Savage, dude. He was hardcore, dude.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, that's cool, but I mean, damn.
A lot of those Australian motherfuckers are gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
For real.
So, Anyways,
Dude, I gotta go to. I really want to go to your house in Ohio because I'm telling you, dude.
Me too.
I picture it as like the Southern Indiana redneck on the river shit, bro. Like that's what I picture in my mind.
it's
at
not
least.
necessarily like that though, dude. It's like city right down the street, but also like small town. It was just how I was, like how I grew up.
You just happen to be out.
Was a little, that's why I didn't feel right when I go to school. Like all these other people have these like normal, it's quote unquote normal lives, whatever that is. And I'm at home like
Smoking crack and chopping wood.
This was before I was smoking crack. This is growing up.
It's
dude.
like your childhood stuff.
This is like childhood up to like teenage.
Preteens.
Even I heated my house with wood and did even throughout like my early 20s and stuff as well.
Was that just like your household being like that, or is it like the couple houses, like neighborhood on the same, like all the houses on your same street were kind of like chopping up wood and doing all that stuff too?
Yeah, a little bit, but not like I strictly did it, like heated it with wood.
That's crazy, man.
That's nuts, dude. I once lived at a place where every once in a while I'd wake up and the pilot light would be out, and I would be fucking pissed if I had to go light that shit and wait 15 minutes for my shower to get warm.
That's why, like, dude, when I still like I take cold showers every morning, and that's that shit, dude. It's like it's a mental. When I can get through a fucking cold shower, man, like I don't know, I grow from it, dude. Like,
Yeah, no, fuck that.
This was fucking different.
But yeah, that's one of those things that you said. Like you look back on it and you can see now that your characteristics that you have, that's just a part of that. What made you Donny?
Mhm.
Like, even though at times it must have fucking sucked going out there chopping that wood. It's kind of one of the reasons you are who you are, right?
Dude, those fucking wood burners get hot though, man. That's how my gramps fucking heated up his cabin too in Southern Indiana.
Mhm.
Those things, so I know what that whole process is like, and it is, dude. You don't chop that wood,
Yeah,
you're in a bad.
this was
bad
a
spot.
3,000 square foot house.
This was not that big. Damn,
It took a lot of fucking wood, dude.
Damn,
I'm
dude.
telling you.
building character
crazy.
today, dude.
No wonder your fucking back's built that way,
I
bro.
know, dude.
I got smart. Got a log splitter though.
Not a boy, dude.
Oh shit.
Dude, Goomer, I know you got some hardship stuff.
Dude,
You went to rehab in Tijuana.
No, that takes me back in I used to live in Colorado. Then we used to live in this trailer, dude, and same thing, dude. I used to ride my bike to the neighbor's house and help him chop wood for the same thing because we lived on the outskirts of Colorado in like a little ass town, and I totally forgot about that. Dude, they had a well in the front yard of the trailer and everything, dude. Like, totally forgot about that. I went back memory lane with you right there. I was like, damn, that people still do that sometimes, dude. It's crazy.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But yeah, Tijuana sucked, dude.
back to
Back to
Tijuana.
surrender.
Well, no, and just the reason I thought of that too is because, and you shared this in Goomer Goes to Rehab, but when you tried to escape and you got tied up to that bed, and the only thing you had was that NA step book.
Yeah.
Like you went through this crazy ass experience, crazy ass time, but dude, you kind of credited like sitting there and reading that book during that incredibly difficult time, and that's insane too, to be tied to a fucking bed for that long. But then to sit there and like find the program, being tied to that bed during that hardship, there's a lot to be said about that, bro. And I really think that goes right back to like we grow from those painful moments.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the great times that I'm like, dude, I made me strong. Going to Disneyland built me up. You know,
Yeah.
the damn nice family dinner. That made me, it's like the nice, like it's like the difficult times that I endured and that I went through and that I just made it through. That build my character, give me the strength, whatever it is, give me a decent, a different perspective on things.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like we were talking about this, dude, and like just thinking back on it, it's like, dude, like, do I really have hardships now? Because like working the program, it's like my whole perspective has changed on life, dude. So it's just like what is really hard is it's just honestly the shit. It's either when I don't work my program or like I just want to sit there in my sick, man. Like I have a choice now to like see things in a hard way or not. Because things aren't that big, dude. Like we amplify shit so much in our heads that it's not even like that. Like that one time, like you going back to like growing pains, like I struggle a lot with like panicking, like instantly, right? Like when shit went wrong, like instantly I'll be like, oh, I gotta call someone. And then like it just took me back to that time I flooded that fucking warehouse.
Dude, we
like,
just talked about this.
we were talking about that
today, actually.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
Were you guys really?
Yeah. The golf course. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
What brought that up?
His old sponsor was telling us a story about when his brother flooded a warehouse when he was doing deliveries. And he like starts panicking and he tells the and it's like a huge fucking warehouse, and he panics and he tells the owners, "I'll pay for it." Like, no, you're not. That's expensive. Like, you cannot afford this. And then we just talked about you flooded. That was a great phone call, by the way.
I ended up calling him, dude. I was like, what did I say? I was like, hey, so when God works on you, man, like,
You called me and told me. I thought you were joking, bro. Like, I didn't know what.
oh, I know. I was all panicking.
Weren't we in Seattle when?
Yeah.
we were.
You guys were in Seattle, dude.
Yeah.
Did I call you? I did call you,
You
huh?
did call me.
You laughed at me.
I was laughing.
I was like,
funny,
that
dude.
wouldn't work. Next person on the phone list. Yeah, but growing pains, dude. I was like,
No, hold up. Tell us about how you flooded that warehouse.
dude. All right, so I'm working nights at this warehouse. We're installing like the whole security system, and it's like what is that? Those little small companies that like work on like logistics companies.
Logistics.
Yeah, it was like one of the, like a small company like that ran out here in Arizona, and so we're working nights, and then my boss takes off, and he's like, dude, he's like, take a 30-hour lunch break, and I was like, all right, cool. So then he leaves a little early, right before me because he had to go pick up some more material, and then. And then, dude, I was like, all right, well, I gotta take a piss. So I go in the restroom, and I think I called you, Jordan, right? Because everybody was so baffled. Even I called my sponsor about this, dude. And he's like, why do you have to flush the toilet? Because like I went to I went to use the restroom, dude, and I took a piss, and I like actually pressed the button to flush the urinal, and like that's just I've always done that.
I did
like,
that too,
right?
Yeah.
And like, do you guys do that when you guys are pissing on a motion sensor urinal?
No.
No.
You don't know? You don't.
If I don't see it, I don't flush it.
I do. I do.
anyways.
I get it. I get the reflex.
That's
that
what I'm
had.
saying, dude.
Yeah.
So I pressed the button, dude.
First of
and
all, I'm freaked out to touch those buttons.
that's when my sponsor. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "You take a piece of paper and
Yeah.
clean all the pubes off too while you're at it." Dude. I was like,
He would say that.
I was like, "Fuck you, asshole."
You wash your hands with soap 10 seconds later.
I know.
know.
I'm just saying it's a personal thing that I'm not touching anything in a public bathroom.
Yeah, whatever.
I
Except
don't
for
know.
your thing.
I don't get gross.
Except for my thing. I mean, unless I was snorting something off of a weird fucking spot.
That's
in a
even
public-
worse, dude.
I know.
Dude, I had no choice. I needed to get my fucking drugs in me, bro.
See, you're the type of addict that gets clean and then all of a sudden it's like, ew.
No,
You're that type of dude, bro. All of a sudden, but you're
He got
dirty
more-
McDonald's fucking.
No, dude, I was
Maryville
I
McDonald's.
had morals, dude. No, I was a clean freak, dude. Like legit, I was like freak. I was like, take your shoes off.
You really want to take it there? You're
I
a
was
clean
like-
freak?
I was.
Hold up. Let's take a look
Take it
at
back
the
to your
Jeep.
Jeep.
Oh, dude.
Talk about hardships.
My homie was so baffled the first time he got in my Jeep. He goes, dude, look at this. And this is, I'm driving fucking 9 hours a day, smoking Fetty Wap all fucking day. And I just got these bottles right there. So I piss in them, all right? You know what? I didn't want to stop every time I had to take a piss. And beyond that, it's so hard to squeeze anything out anyway. So I was just pissing. My buddy gets in, bro, clean your Jeep out every once in a while. Look at the water's turned yellow at this point.
Did you tell him it was piss?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
And he found out, all right? It was, I don't
Days
know how.
later.
Did he dumb and dumber it and take a
No, but I have by mistake on
So have
4
I.
times
So
now.
have I.
Yeah, and the first
4 times.
Yeah.
That is the definition of insanity.
I know, dude. And the first time, it was when I was driving down to Tucson, which is like 3 hours from here, like 2.5, 3 hours.
You
And
still
I-
using?
Yeah, oh yeah, I was using hard for sure. But I didn't have any AC in my Jeep, and it's the middle of summer in Phoenix, Arizona. So it's burning hot, right? So I'm literally just pouring sweat, and I have a Gatorade bottle next to me, and I walk out of my Jeep, and I'm just like, at this point, I'm like about to pass out because I just drove 2.5 hours with no AC in the middle of summer in Phoenix. I get there and I'm going to the city of Tucson and I walk up to this lady and I look right at this lady. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, I need to go do some building permit stuff. And I had what I thought was a Gatorade bottle. And as I'm looking at her dead in the eye, I take a fat swig of my own piss. And it's hot as fuck, dude. She just looks at me and I just look at her for a minute and I realize what I did. And I just kind of, I was on the phone with my boss too.
Swallow it?
No, dude, I spit it in her trash can and tried to walk up to her like nothing happened.
What'd you tell her? It was like
she's like, your
it was
breath kind of tastes like
that
spit.
Mio. It was the Mio. You squeezed the Mio.
Smells like
a water bottle.
Little flavoring.
It was bad, dude. But anyway, so when my buddy sees all this stuff, he's like flipping out and he's like, dude, and this is normal. As soon as we walk into my house, I'm like, hey, bro, I need you to take your shoes off on my carpet. He goes, I'm sorry. I didn't think we went from piss bottles to take shoes off on the carpet.
Dude, you're weird, man.
I had weird things, bro.
You do.
We just got yeah, whatever. We just got sidetracked. Anyway, back to touching your piss in the urinal.
Not touching his piss.
I'm not touching my piss.
Flushing the toilet.
Touching the
button.
toilet.
Don't
That's a
touch the
normal
button.
thing, dude.
No,
Okay.
you're right.
It
Flushing
might
the
be like
urinal.
trust issues. You know what I mean? I'm
I do.
trying to be considerate. Like, have you ever walked away from a motion sensor urinal and it doesn't flush? Yeah, dude. Like,
Trust issues.
yeah, dude. I don't trust that thing's gonna flush, dude. Like,
I get you, Goomer. We're on the same page.
that's what I'm saying, dude.
following.
Apparently, no one else in recovery flushes fucking the button. Because I talked to a lot of people. It really bothered me, dude.
So what happened? When you
So I
pushed the
flushed it,
button?
right? And so I flushed the button. And apparently it got stuck. And it's like one of those like the plumbing must have been like on high pressure or something, bro. Because that shit was like an airport flushing, dude. It was like,
Donnie
and I was
just
like,
got
all
done
right, cool,
smoking a
whatever. So I'm
cigarette.
washing my hands, dude, and like I'm making a mess in the sink and like washing my face and this and that. And I clean the whole sink and wipe it down and I throw it away. And I'm walking out and I have my little like tool bag pouch and I take it off, I rip it off, and then I put it next to my roller bag. And then like I went to go, I was like, oh shit, I'm refill my water bottle before I leave. So I go refill my water bottle and I walk past the bathroom and like I hear it in the background, but I'm like just thinking to myself in my head and I hear the water still running. I was like, a little thought, I was just like, that's still going. So I drink water and I pass it by. I was like, for some reason, dude, it stood out. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like if God was like, yo, Goomer, go check this out real quick, dude. But I choose to ignore it and I leave, dude. And I was gone probably like, I don't know, probably like 50 minutes. It was 50 minutes, man. And so I leave and then I go home. I was working like really close to my house. I go home and I grab something to eat real quick and then I drive back to work and I come back and I'm just chilling, get ready to kick some ass at work and have my little break. And I go in there and dude, the whole place is fucking flooded, bro. Like it was bad, bro.
The cubicles, everything,
Yeah,
computer
dude, like,
equipment.
So this warehouse is a huge warehouse, but like where I was running the cables and stuff, where I was working, the bathroom that I used, it was like the office, all the cubicles, all like the manager's office, like all that stuff, like a little building where they have all that stuff set up. And then I go in there, dude, and I don't even notice it. I start walking, and then my shoes just sink into the water or the carpet, dude. Like it was bad, dude. Like it was like right above like your I don't know, I'll say like those hairs right before your toes. You know what I mean?
Oh shit.
Probably like where sandals were, like flip flops would kind of mark you. Like
It's
that's all
like
deep.
An inch of water.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was pretty deep, dude. So I panicked, dude. I'm just like, holy shit, where's this coming from? And I opened the door of the bathroom, and then it's like whoosh. I was like, fuck, dude.
And you're the only one there.
I'm the only one there, dude. It was like, I'm
of
the
course,
only
that
one.
would happen to Cooper.
And I was like, fuck, dude. Instant panic, dude. I was like, how do I shut this off, dude? And I'm hitting this urinal thing, dude, the piping on it, and the button like just pops off. And I was like, fuck, man. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do, man. I just sit there and I just look at it for like a very long time. I'm just like what do you do? I was just like,
Do I leave?
dude, I did think about that. I did. I was like, I'm just gonna leave and wait until my boss gets back and be like, yo, I don't know, man. This place. Dude, I thought of every scenario how to get out of it, man. But I was early in recovery, dude. I was like trying to be honest. I was like really like about, working an honest program. So I just stayed there and I called my boss. I was like, yo, dude, like I fucked up, dude. He's like, what happened? I was like, And I told him, and I explained the situation. He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm almost there." And like he thought, like he said, like it was a little bit of water, right? So he comes back there. He's like, "Holy fuck, Goomer!" He's like towers on the computer, the cubicles are wrecked, dude. Like there's a storage room with blueprints and all the filing, all the paperwork got wrecked. They had more computers and laptops right there. It got flooded, dude. I caused so much damage, dude. Like even in the rack, the data room was like getting flooded too, dude. Like it was everything, dude. I was just like, holy shit, dude. Like I was like, I'm fucked. Like I really did it this time. Like
Your security system's done though.
Cameras are out.
Cameras are out. Good news and bad news. Good news, job's done.
That's actually what he called. Remember when I told you?
Yeah.
That's what he said, dude. So he was just like, he's like, what do we do? And like, so we end up getting like renting like a rug doctor, right? And we're like, we suck all this water out. We rent some fans and blowers and all this stuff, and we're like getting the shit done, right? And he calls the owner of the warehouse, and he's like, I got some good news and some bad news for you, man. And the dude was super cool, dude. He had like a southern accent, like he was just like the owner, and he was just like, he's like, all right. He's like, what's the good news? He's like, the good news is what did he say? He's he's like, what's the bad news? He's like, the bad news is like he's like, the job took a little longer than expected, so we're not gonna be done today. He's like, we need another couple more days. And the dude's like, all right, what's the good news? He's like, your carpets are shampooed. When he said that, dude, I was like, fucking balls on this guy,
Fucking
dude.
balls on this guy,
Dude, I was blown away, dude. The dude ended up being cool about it, dude. And then he showed up the next morning when we were there, and he's like, then he got pissed because like he thought it wasn't that bad, dude, but it was pretty fucking bad, dude.
Oh,
But
See, like me, and the way I think, like when I hear that story, that's the fucking owner's fault. I've been like, fucking fix your toilet.
no, for sure. And that's what I told him too. 'Cause
yeah, because I offered I wanted to go rent the things, and like I was like, dude, you know what, dude, clock me out right now. I'm gonna stay as long as it takes. I'm gonna do this by myself, out of my pocket, my dime. Like I'll go rent the stuff, you know, the rug doctor shampoo little vac. And he's like, nah, don't worry about it, man. He's like, it's kind of their fault. He's like, you should have paid more attention, but he's like, it is what it is. But in my head, it was just like,
nah,
life's over.
Yeah.
Life's fucking over.
You called
I
me.
feel that.
You called me tripping. What'd you
Yeah.
say? What is?
How's it feel when God's working on you? He's like, oh, it fucking hurts. I was like, this must be a growing pain.
He tells me, I'm like, oh, I told him the same thing. I was like, dude, that's their plumbing fucking issues. They
Yeah.
have insurance.
Yeah.
Let them take care of it, dude.
But I get that. I also get what you were saying. If I was put in that same shoes, I'd be like,
dude,
it's
that's
my
scary.
fucking fault.
That's
Yeah.
scary. Fucking look at a big warehouse you just flooded. So, but
Disaster,
what'd you
man.
learn from that experience, dude?
Pay attention to God when he's talking to you, man.
Don't push the button
Don't-
on the urinal.
I guess, dude.
I'm
Fuck.
just kidding, bro.
I still do it.
Yeah, I mean, me too.
It's a habit, man.
Nah, but you know what? Out of all that, because that's like an easy, that's like fuck everything and run material
yeah,
right
dude.
there, right? Like that's fucking bail. I just flooded a warehouse. I'm out.
Yeah.
Gone. But you did, man. To your credit, bro. You sat there and you fucking worked your program. You took that opportunity. You did. You came clean. You called like other people. You like brought it to God. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying that sounds like working your program to me, man.
I guess, right?
Guess my ass. Not working it would have been bailing. Like, fuck it. I'm out.
Would you have bailed? Would you have bailed?
Not right. I'd like to think I don't think I would have.
No. You would have silver tongued your ass out of that situation. You need a new plumbing. I got the company.
Get your own damn insurance and your own damn flusher, motherfucker.
And if you need a new warehouse, I'm a realtor.
Flip that shit to a lead.
That's fucking Dylan for you.
Oh, you guys owe me a thank you. I figured out a big fucking problem with your design here. Right? Hell yeah. Oh man. Nah, but to take it back to surrender. To take it back to that whole hardships thing, man. It was one of those things too, and you know, one of the things that I shared on was if there was this magic pill that we could take and it would cure my addiction. I could drink like a normal person. I could drug like a normal person.
is that real?
Whatever.
Marijuana and cocaine.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
normal
yeah.
people
The
drugs.
normal people
Normal
drugs.
people
No, but like if I could do them and I didn't end up hooked again, like I can do them like a normal person. I could drink like a normal person. If there was a pill out there that would immediately make it like that for me, I wouldn't take it. I would not take it. Like it is so crazy, but all of that crazy stuff that I went through, the hardships that I went through, the despair that I went through, the misery that I went through, the depression that I went through, the feeling of just lost and hopeless and helpless and not knowing how I was going to live on, dude, and just wanting to die on a daily basis and not being able, convincing myself that I'm just not cut out for life. I can't do this because I can't get clean. I can't keep doing this. I can't do life. I'm just not built for it. You know, I truly convinced myself of that. Having gone through all of that, and I was speaking with another alcoholic earlier and just about being away from my daughter when I was in treatment, man, and how hard that was for me. And
It's the worst.
being in treatment and seeing, and we went to the movies one time and a dad took his little girl to go see Lion King. And I seen this dad with his little girl was around the same age as my daughter. And I just like fucking broke down, dude. Like I was like, it hurt so bad knowing that my actions and my decisions led me to this extreme. And because of all of that I went through, I am so much more appreciative today of the time I get to spend with my daughter, the time I get to spend with homies that I truly love and I believe love me most days. Like the things that I get to do, the connections that I've built in recovery, and being able to go through all of that despair and then come out and be able to help the next struggling person because of it. And I've always said this, you enter recovery, you enter the business of saving lives.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do around here, right? Like that's legit. Like somebody helped save my life. A lot of people helped save my life. And that connection that I've established and that sense of purpose, I've always struggled with an identity, right? Like I feel like I've established an identity like in this role that I believe God has called me to. And I don't want to give that up, dude. Like over to have a few cold beers. Fuck that. You know, like I don't give all this up. Like absolutely not, man.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Yeah, dude, I totally relate with all that, man. Like I had no purpose in my life, even like before my addiction got real bad, but also in my addiction. I was like, I had no purpose. I had no reason to live, you know, and then we come into recovery and it's like, wow, someone helped me. And now I get to use the worst hardships and all my experiences, all my freaking defects and all that as an asset now. And I get to, you know, share how I walked through it and continue to walk through things that happen, dude, and hardships, because I don't care what anyone says. Like if you haven't had a hardship yet in your life, you're gonna get a hardship in your life at some point in time. Like it's gonna happen. And if you've been through a bunch of hardships, you made it through them, and it's just, that's a part of life. Like, and it's taken as a lesson and not keep reliving that thing. Like, so I'm like a lot, like say you lost someone in your life, like you could keep revisiting that day over and over. Like it happened again. And that's the two biggest things that mess with people and mess with me. I'll just say my experience, but it's with everyone. Like our vivid memory fucks with us because we're able to relive past experiences to such a vivid moment that it feels like it's real. And then our second is our creative imagination, like our huge imagination that we have. So we make up these hardships that haven't even happened yet.
Yeah.
And we're living in the moment. So if I'm focusing in the future, like I'm not in the present moment, because almost always we're never suffering in the moment, ever. We only suffer because of a thought. And we make ourselves suffer in that moment from a hardship that hasn't even happened, or a hardship that happened fucking years ago.
Dude, that's so true. Cause like I remember when I would struggle and I would call people and they would tell me like, all right, just focus, look at your shoes. Where are you standing? What's wrong right now? What hurts? Like what do you need? What's suffering? Like what do you like? And then like they would help me get myself into my own shoes in that present moment. And I'm like, dude, nothing's wrong right now. It's all in my head. It's just like working through that. It was just like, it was so huge for me, man. Cause it's true. Cause we either suffer cause we're living in the past or futurizing, dude. And like our heads just going ham on us, dude.
I had a conversation about that earlier with the sponsee, like playing God. How the hell do I know what's gonna happen? Yet I'm sitting here planning like, I'm fucked. This is it. When I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Even like in a hardship, like say something bad happens to us, like in that moment, right then, we have all these emotions and feelings, and it's hard to even calm down enough for that. Like say you got in a car accident.
Jeez, dude.
Like I'm just saying, like right, like dude, it's bound to happen. Okay.
All right, speak from your experience. You got fucking plenty of them.
Well, in my addiction, yeah, but I haven't really had. I mean, I've had a couple.
All right, continue.
Harder things. But anyways, if it happens, dude, like recognize your reality. Like first, like realize what is happening. Like assess the situation. Like yeah, this is my reality right now. Like this is actually happening, and then look at it as assess the situation or whatever, and then look at some kind of option to change your environment or your plan to move forward out of that situation, or because you can't just sit there in it. Like say something bad happens, man. You always got to work through it. You can't just, because I could just sit there and break down and say I'm a victim, right? Yeah. Or I can like assess the whole situation and say, okay, now how can I go this way or go that way, or move away from the situation, or accept it exactly how it is and talk to someone.
Well, I think that's a big part of the whole self-pity thing. Like, so I still think it's very important for me to validate my experience. If I'm feeling sad, I'm going to allow myself to feel sad about something, because I'm going to recognize that emotion. And then as soon as I can recognize it, I feel it, I can then let it pass. Right. Instead of fighting my emotion. Like I feel things, right? I feel things. I'm a dramatic, emotional, sensitive dude. All right. I feel things. So I'm going to recognize those feelings. I'm going to validate my experience and then let it move on. And a big part of the program is, for me, is allowing myself to do that, but not cross over to self-pity, right? And not sit there and wallow in self-pity and throw pity parties and poor me type stuff, right? So I feel like that's a lot of what you're talking about, right? We go through that car, we go through this wreck, we go through these hard times, and then what do I do with it, right? I grow from it.
Yeah.
I learned to grow from it instead of sitting there like, oh fuck, see, world's against me. Against me. And when I was using, dude, it felt like the world was against me. And I talk to other addicts, and they're just like, "Fuck, man, can't catch a break."
Everything just fucked up.
I started dying one time. Dude,
something would go right every once in a while. Maybe I'd stop using these drugs.
I was like, not my favorite. One of my lines.
What's your famous line? All right, don't just fucking own it.
Fucking one thing after another. I'm telling you.
The rains and pours, man.
Oh, dude, I know. Isn't it funny how that works? Active addiction. I was just the unluckiest man in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I need $50, Grandpa.
I was just thinking, man, and all you have to do is just, I mean, and people in recovery, when you're going through a hardship or going through a tough time, no matter if it's serious, made up, or it's just an experience that you're living through, or you're early in recovery and struggling not to drink or not to use, it's just like, all you got to do is just like, at least from my experience, all I had to do is not pick up.
Oh, yeah.
And continue to do with the things that try to, at least to my best ability, to just try to do the next right thing. And this shit does fucking pass, dude. And when you look back on it, it's like, dude, that shit wasn't that big.
Well, we were just talking. It gets better.
It does get better. It gets different, bro.
Oh, dude, that pisses me off. So anyone out there, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and voice my opinion on this one. This one pisses me off. And when I'm in a meeting and there's like an old timer, doesn't get better, it gets different. Just gets... Fuck you, dude. It got better. My life is better sober than when I was hooked on drugs. It is different, and it's a better different.
It's a better different.
Don't say that shit.
I've never heard anyone say that before. Dude,
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I was like, that's the first I've ever heard.
Oh God, dude, I heard that. I'm like, dude, if I'm a newcomer, I'm like, this shit don't get better. Different, but not better. Fuck it. I'm out. Because this shit sucks. My life sucks. Yeah. And if it's not gonna get better, I'm just gonna continue doing these damn drugs.
Got better for me,
dude. Way better, right?
Strapped to a bed to now doing this. It's better. You got me. You're not living the dream. Hardships, bro.
But we still go through them, right? And so even though it is better, I mean, that's not to say that it's completely perfect or anything like that. But each time we go through something, like you said, the second year, Jordan, you're now entering your second year. We're on our second year, still all early in sobriety, still all early in recovery. But when I got my 9-month chip, the dude looks at me and says, "Hey, man, congratulations. Gets tougher from here."
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
9, 10, 11 months are fucking hard, dude.
Yeah,
At
they
least for
were.
me. At least for me.
Yeah.
Some people don't agree that you go through these phases or.
There's levels of this shit.
I think I followed your guys' 9, 10, 11 month plan to a T.
They all did. They did too.
Well, then that's the thing
That
too. Is
shit's
like
funny.
Donnie, you're coming up on 2 years, February 18th. So you're 5 months ahead of me. And this early right here, and that's 7 months ahead of you. Am I 1 or 2 months ahead of you?
One.
So like in this early, and we've said it, like that's a big time gap this early on in recovery.
Every month is
1 month, dude, is a lot.
Dude.
a lot of growing period, especially if you're really consistently like working on yourself over and over, like day in and day out, and talking to people, and you learn a lot within 30 days.
Yeah, I know. It's
It's
crazy.
crazy, man.
Remember like
Some
how insane
situations are hard though, man. Some situations are hard. You can't find the answer and you're like trying to figure shit out. But if you just let it go and stay in acceptance, and then when that moment passed, dude, like you just learn so much from it. Like, holy fuck, dude.
Well, then I don't have to figure it out by myself anymore.
Dude, those are
either.
the gifts, dude. All the shit that I went through my first year,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, I'm just like, holy fuck, dude.
It was
like,
dope.
It's
Hard, but dope.
Like, I want it back. Like, if
Yeah.
that's fucked up to think, dude. Like,
Don't try.
it's just amazing, man. That's the shit that you can give away. Like, all those experiences, like, how many times have I called you, man? And like, I'm like a couple months behind, and you're like, dude, it's gonna be all right, dude.
Dude.
And then it is, but like, I don't know, man.
You were a wreck.
Hell yeah. I used to
That
tell
land,
Guru, I
man.
think we shared this before. Like every time he would call me, I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, I can promise you everything is gonna be okay, dude. And he was like, no, it's not, Donnie. No, it's not. I was like,
Yeah,
yes, it is.
it is now, man.
Someone fucking called me today, and they were like, dude. He was going through like a really tough situation today, like a couple of different events that happened in his life, and he was like, "Man, the whole time, dude, all I could think of was you in my head saying, 'This too shall pass.'" I was just laughing, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, because it does, dude.
Really does.
Nah, man.
Those are the growing pains, man. Enjoy them.
growing pains.
Stay on the positive shit, man. Perspective.
Yeah, positive mindset, man, is huge.
Dude, just going back to your kids, man. I'm
Hold
not
on,
enjoying.
what-
Go on, go
No,
on.
you're good.
I feel like you've been. Wait, what were
That's
what?
cool. No, keep going.
All right.
Whatever.
I feel bad. You're good, man. What were you gonna say?
I just know. So with me, fucking
Jordan's
with a
on like
holding
2-3
back,
hours
bro.
of sleep.
No, I just know for me, like I have a really hard time, like even expressing hardships that I go through with anyone, because for me it's like that's my burden to bear, and what I've done in the past is I really just fucking bury it deep down, and I pretend not like I pretend it's not there, but I pretend I overcame it already, if that makes sense, you know. And it's like now that I've been working my program and I've been going over a year, I'm able to kind of look back and see, it's almost like I convinced myself that I wasn't going through this thing at a time. Like,
So you
you
think you were just in denial about it still?
like for example, like when we're talking about hardships, the thing that really came to my mind, so what really sent when my drinking really started was when I went through my breakup with my ex-girlfriend. My high school girlfriend, we were together 10 years, and we mutually broke up. But I if you would have asked me or any of my friends, like it was never talked about really. Like I never showed any emotion. I always said like I was over it and stuff, but I can look back now 3 years later, now that I've gone through everything that I've gone through, and I'm finally learning to like work a program and like, and all this stuff. And I'm finally, I feel like I'm coming out the other end of it. I can look back and be like, I was fucking broken. That shit broke me deep to my core. And I don't know, if you would have asked any of my friends or people that hung out with me, they probably, what my problem was. They probably been like, oh, he just drinks too much. And I'm not saying that was the cause of my drinking, but like that shit rocked me.
Right.
And I can look back at it now that I'm like coming out the other side of it. But if again, kind of like I said last week with the whole depression, if you would have asked me if I was in the moment, I'm like, fuck that, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Or like it had no effect on me. But that's like a big fucking life changing thing that really rocked me. And I can look back and be like I've grown from that. Like I can see why people say you got to go through like a big heartbreak in your life or something like, you come out a changed person, because now me being that changed person, I can look back on it and say, damn, fuck, I was going through it. And I wish I could have recognized that at the time and spoke up about it. So that's kind of what I'm like trying to do with things that I go through now. It's the same reason with early in my sobriety, why I didn't call or talk to anybody, because I just was like, oh, fucking whatever it is, I'll fucking deal with it. I don't need to burden anybody else with this, But I'm working on recognizing the things that I go through and vocalizing about it, so I don't bury it down and then blow up at some random.
It's hard to ask for help, man. Yeah. Even if it's little things like that. And then it goes to it doesn't matter what you're going through. It just matters on the individual person, how they analyze and how that affects them in a personal level. Was that like the first breakup that you gone through?
Yeah.
Destroyed you? How old were you?
I was 26.
26, first breakup?
High school girlfriend.
But you were 10 years? Woo.
Yeah, dude.
I remember my first breakup, dude.
My first breakup sent me on a spiral,
dude.
Shit.
Oh, dude.
Sent me on a spiral, bro. Like I could still relive those emotions, and I buried that shit down like fucking
drugs,
jam that
bro.
shit in my cargo shorts pockets, bro. Deep, dude. You were late for that. I was out in the back digging a fucking hole, dude. Just putting that shit in there. Yeah, dude. It hard, man.
Oh, fuck,
dude, breakups suck, dude.
Yeah.
First one, 17 years old, dude. 2 months later, dude, I got another girl pregnant. I was all hopped up in fucking acid, shrooms, ecstasy, meth, drinking every day, dude. I was like rolling.
A good old time.
Dude, I was sitting there in a continuation school just rolling balls, bro. Like from like raving for like 4 nights, bro, the whole weekend. I was just like sitting there Monday morning, like, holy fuck. People look like fucking sharks. When sharks smell blood, like shark tail. Like, my pupils are dilated like a motherfucker, dude.
You're like that cat on that what do you meme game when all the drugs hit you at once.
Yeah, just trying to focus not to die. You're just like, oh fuck.
Dude, I've been there, bro. You start mixing everything.
I was just sitting like,
this is it. This is it. This is the moment. This is the moment I die.
Those are like the exact words that go through the head too. I remember.
And then my heart starts racing even faster because I start building this anxiety. I'm like, this is it. I'm fucking dead. I'm dying.
I'd be like, is it stopped? Is it done? I did
it's
it.
Scary, dude.
I finally did it. I'm dying.
Dude, even when using drugs, dude, like, I realized, like, if you just let go and enjoy your high, like, usually sometimes it's okay. Like, your shit goes back.
You're going to tell kids how to enjoy their high right now?
My bad.
Not so anonymous.
Don't do that.
Not so anonymous does not endorse Goomer.
Back to surrender.
Anyways, breakups fucking suck, dude. Yeah, that was my first breakup, dude. It sent me through a spiral, dude. Destroyed me. That shit sucks. It hurts, man.
Yeah, it comes back to like I don't want to be that fucking sounds cliche to be all broken up over a fucking breakup and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be Mr. Tough Guy, you know. And then that ended up hurting me in the long run instead of just fucking talking to somebody about it. I should have just said something to someone. It probably could have helped way earlier than 3 years later.
You suffer, like I suffered in my mind for years, bro, over this stuff, and I'm sure you can relate on the same. Just from one breakup, like I suffered for years of my life, dude.
Trauma.
Not like no, it's my pride and my I shoved all that shit down because I wanted to be that tough guy, and I'm good. Like there's a million other fish in the sea, like bullshit like that. But like that shit was like. I never owned.
I would agree. I think it could be a traumatic experience.
For me, it was, man.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
I was always raised, dude. My whole family, dude, they're married and have kids and live in beautiful houses from the high school sweethearts, dude. Like I was raised like you meet a girl at an early age, like real traditional. You fall in love, you have kids, and you just make life happen, dude. And I almost like I try to like do that when I wasn't even ready or like mature enough to even understand that, dude. It's just something that I saw and tried to follow in the footsteps of my older siblings. So when it happened, I was just like, dude, my life's fucking over, dude. And it spiraled me into my addiction. It put me down a dark fucking path, man. It was brutal for me.
Yeah.
But again, so I want to go back to that question though. So so knowing what we know now, right? Going through all of the tough times, going through all the hardships, being in recovery now, if there was that pill that would allow you to drink normally, allow you to smoke a little bit of crack, you know what I mean? Allow you to go to a normal drinker, would you guys take it?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That was a hard yes.
That was a hard yes. All right.
Yes. I'm just kidding.
Mute his mic.
I'm just kidding.
No, honestly, I want to know. Like, honestly, this is not something that I'm looking for a specific answer. I'm genuinely curious because, right, that other girl in the meeting brought that up, right, as an interesting point.
Yeah, that was your share. You know, like the topic was hardships, and yeah, and like after that meeting, that was our home group late meeting, and then the next day at the nooner, she ended up like, you know, she gave me credit and stuff like that. She shared it, but it was just, and I looked at you. I made you share that day, man. Yeah, I was just like, here.
That's that whole
being selfish,
being
right?
selfish because we don't want to share.
Yeah, dude. And I put you on the spot, like even like I was like, Dylan, I'm sorry, man. You talking? You said something? That shit was the dude. If you would have kept silent, I would have felt so stupid.
I almost did him, dude. He goes, "You say something, Dylan?" I just stayed silent, quiet. Dude.
But then
some other dude, "What's that?" Goober was like, "Oh no, nothing. I was asking if Dylan said something." Dylan, did you say something?
It was awkward as shit, dude. And Dylan just sat there and
I
just
like watched the whole thing.
I was just like, all right, motherfucker.
That's funny, dude.
Anyways, you ended up sharing, and it probably hit a lot of people in that meeting. Your share got carried to the next day at a nooner, and probably spread to a bunch of newcomers because there's a lot of newcomers at nooner meetings, dude. So that goes to that.
Yeah.
Going through the whole hardship, dude, like that's the stuff that you gave away, right? Like, why would you take that pill?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Again, because I don't want to fucking give up what I found here.
Yeah. I kind of had, it's not necessarily the pill, but I had a similar conversation with Donny when we were talking about the lottery like a couple weeks ago when it was up like $1 billion. And we were talking about like what we would do if we win, and I made a joke like I'm getting fucked up if I win the lottery because I would solve like I'd have all this money, I wouldn't have to worry about working with it. But then he goes, no, I don't think I would. And I looked at him and I said, honestly, I don't think I would either because I'm enjoying my life so much in sobriety. Like before I got sober because of all the bad shit that alcohol like was causing in my life. But now I'm staying sober because of how much I enjoy sobriety and all the things that we get to do in sobriety. So it's like that's not even that much of a motivation for me anymore. So long way to answer your question. No, I don't think I would take it.
Me?
Yeah,
I fucking wouldn't take it.
You want to do a teeny piece of crack?
No, dude, that shit make me weird as hell, dude. Just enough to get a little weird. One hit.
I remember like coming into rooms, I was like, I wish every year they would just give us a weekend off, and it didn't count. Like everybody in the fellowship would get
like
fucked up.
We get a purge. We get a purge. Pick up where we left off.
A purge. There you go.
The recovery purge. Yeah.
That'd be a cleansing of the room.
That's wrong. That's so dark. That is wrong, dude.
You come in on Monday and no one's.
You got 3 old timers.
I guess I'm the 1%.
But Captain Recovery made it.
Still geeked out from Sunday.
Told you I was 1 in 7 billion, motherfucker. Oh shit, dude, ain't no one there to make coffee.
Dude.
Get your own damn chips and your own damn coffee, motherfucker.
I don't think I would take it either, man. I wouldn't, man. Fuck you guys.
I know.
Y'all laughing at me.
We all said no.
Everybody said no, and when I said, you're like,
Because we're all like, yeah, you would.
I wouldn't, man.
I was agreeing with you, bro.
Dude, I
wouldn't.
just did H&I, man.
Hell yeah. How was that, man?
Dude.
Amazing. I was
time
high as hell, bro. Like,
Let's clarify. Again, not so anonymous does not endorse Goomer. All right, fuck Team Goomer. Hashtag Team Goomer.
He was on a spiritual high.
spiritual life high.
I was high as fuck for H&I.
Never start with that ever again.
I went to H&I.
Were you a patient?
You didn't even know, bro.
I was high as hell.
You come see me at H&I, boy. Woo!
Was it not 7:30?
Boy, Muskogee.
Oh, I needed that.
Fire, bro.
I needed that.
My bad. What I meant to say
Yeah.
spiritual high, bro.
Okay.
That's how I start my war stories off, dude. So I was high as fuck one
I
day.
roll up to this H&I commitment. They don't know I'm fucked up.
You guys know what I meant, man.
We did, but
We did.
we had to clarify.
Kind of.
Perspective, man.
Anyway, so
If that triggered someone, then
elaborate.
Call
on-
your
pray about
sponsor.
it. Call your sponsor.
Get your own damn sponsor, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. I can't be serious after that, dude. It went good, man. I wouldn't take the pill because it's like the rewards that comes back from giving away the hardships, you know.
Yeah.
Being able to share our experience, strength, and hope. Everybody has a fucking different story, man. A unique story, but it's all connected and it's all the same, but different experiences for the most part, you know. And being able to do that, man. If you're listening to this episode right now, listen to our episode He's Not Ours, where me and Donny talk about this kid, that random kid, great story, background. Listen to the episode so you kind of know what I'm talking about right now. If you listen to that episode, that kid was still in detox, right? And like he was how many times he's been calling us, right?
He's been in and out probably 8 times. 7-8 times.
Yeah, in and out. And from that episode being dropped up to, you know, a few days ago, I went there, man, and the odds, dude, like I ended up getting assigned to his unit where he was staying at, dude, and he was still there. He was supposed to be released that day, early in the morning, and he was still there. Something happened that he ended up staying like a day extra or something like that. And dude, he came up to me. He was so happy to see me, man. He was so happy to see me. And he gave me the biggest, warmest hug, dude. And he looked like someone in, you know, would look like in detox, man. He was just so happy. He's like, Goomer. He's like, oh man. He's like, I'm so glad to see you. And he gave me this hug, dude. And he was just talking to me, and that made me feel good, man. Because, you know, he told me, dude. He's like, I don't have anybody, man. He's like, all I have is, you know, he's like, all I have is you, Donny, and probably name one other person, dude. And just to be able to give that back, you know, and share my experience, strength, and hope, and just seeing people like light up, and having the ability to just be honest with myself and my experience, no matter how of a shitty experience and all the hardships that I went through in childhood and in recovery and early recovery and my addiction, like all the raunchy shit that no one likes to talk about, dude. Like I just can spit that out at a very comfortable level that it hits and resonates with a lot of people still in active addiction or trying to get out, dude. So I wouldn't take that pill, man. That's what I'm saying. Like I left that place leaving so spiritually high, dude, that I was just on a good one, man. I forgot how much of a vital piece that was to my recovery, you know, that COVID kind of took away, but now they're kind of like working with the system and social distancing and all the rules and regulations. But dude, it was amazing, dude. It was an amazing experience. I missed it.
Well, and it's amazing too. And I was just speaking with someone about this. Like I was speaking with the sponsee about it, and just like the differences of the positions that I'm put in too. Like I genuinely feel like God is using me for his work a lot of times, man, because of the positions and just the situations that I get put in that I've never ever been put in my entire life.
Yeah.
You know, like I told you when I rolled up and I was at a client's house, man. And I walked in on an attempted suicide. And because I was in that frame of mind, I was able to connect with this person. And I was able to talk with this person. And this person ended up going to a meeting and doing all of this. Like, and all of this is just so crazy to me. Like, if that, like, I can't make that shit up, right?
Mhm.
Like, God's like, hey man, I need you to save a life real fast, so that way there's still this person around. But before you do that, I need you to go through all these crazy years of despair, all of this alcoholism, a drug addiction. I need you to go as low as possible, so that way when you get there, you can connect. By the way, grab a real estate license. Don't worry, it'll make sense when you get there. Like that shit, like all of that, like the situations that I'm now put in, it blows my mind. Just people opening up out of nowhere. Like I just left that job and people, like I was kind of bummed because like so many people would come up to me and I'm so honest about same thing. I'm like honest with my shit, dude. Like my bosses would be like, oh, hey, how'd you, did you start? I was like, yeah, I started because I wanted to stop doing drugs. And I wanted to, like, I was so honest with my shit. People started being honest with me and being able to give that feedback. And maybe they weren't struggling with drugs, but they were struggling with codependency, struggling with depression, whatever it may be. Like, being able to take my hurt, my traumas, my story, and flip it around and be like, yo, Jordan, man, I got something for you. Let me help you out. Goomer, check this out. Donny, fuck you. No, like honestly, though, but for us to be able to take that stuff and do that, just like the first time we went to H&I, bro, and like we bonded over that, like all that time.
And hell yeah.
We talked about it.
Yeah, we already talked about it.
What episode is that?
I don't remember.
I forget.
I don't remember whatever. That dude.
Dylan was scarred for a while. He was. I think he's still processing that shit.
Homeless dude was packing heat, bro.
I know. Told me.
Swinging past his knees.
Dude, I feel it the same way though, man. Like, I hate. Like, I'm not. I don't want to. Like, I say God's plan, man, and like this, how you just been using us. Like, when I wake up and I do my first 3 steps in the morning, and I say the 3rd step prayer, like basically turning my life over to God and allowing Him to use me however He pleases throughout my day.
Totally, man.
And when I do that, I am put in some situations that fucking blow my mind over and over and over and over again, dude.
And you're open to Him too. One of the biggest things.
Yeah, I'm allowing Him to use me.
Totally. And that's one of the biggest
thing.
things that I admire about you too, is the fact that you are always willing to like step into those situations.
Yeah.
I really do.
You never say no, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard you say or talk about or say
I never
no.
said no to drugs, so why would I say no to helping someone now?
That's true, man.
Hell yeah.
You still go to any lengths. That's one thing like that I admire a shitload about you, man. You never give up on anybody, dude. It's fucking amazing, dude.
You're badass.
It's pretty cool though, man. Like all the shit that we talk about, dude. Like,
thank you.
we can give all that back. Like the more honest and open you are about it, that's why like I share the way I share, and like I'm fucking just fucking vomit all my traumas and shit like that, because that's what I want to hear. You know, coming in like. You know, it's like one thing that reminds me of you, Jordan, when people say share your experience, strength, and hope, and then you hear like, yeah, well, I own a baseball team and this and that. And you know, one share you say like, yeah, but you're smart. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
What am I supposed to do?
But if you talk and share like, yo, dude, I've been sexually abused, I've been bullied in high school, I've been this and that, and all this shit that in my childhood that no one wants to talk about, and everybody thinks about like the hardships. Everybody's so different and so unique, and they've only gone through this shit. It's like, dude, all that shit's so common, man. I'm like, the more honest I get about all that shit, the more blessings, the more doors open up to people helping me, dude. Like, dude, some kid comes up to me, dude, and calls me in the middle of the night. He's like, hey, man, I need someone to talk to. So then I get up, you know, I'm like in the middle of something. Like, I'm probably like, I was hanging out with my girlfriend on a date or something like that, but it sounded urgent, dude. And I left. I dropped everything and I went to go hang out with him. He's like, he needed like pretty much fist step me. He needed, you know, to just get some stuff off his chest. And he's like, dude, he's like, I don't trust anybody. He's like, but I like the way you share. And I heard all the shit that you say and you're so open to talk about it. He's like, he's like, I can't even trust my sponsor with this. I was like, dude, this is the shit that takes us back out. You can't keep secrets, man. Secrets, reservations, resentments, all that shit takes an addict and alcoholic out. So for me being so open, dude, for him to call me, because he's probably getting eaten up by all these thoughts, and spill that out on me, dude. And then for me to make him, I felt like having a genuine moment and being like, I'm like, oh, bro, that ain't that bad. You know what I did? Bam, 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 bam.
You said I raised you, motherfucker.
And it usually
All
goes
in.
like that, right?
Yeah.
Like all our hardships, all our traumas and shit like that. So you think you're so different, so unique, and you're the only one feeling like this, dude.
Not even close.
It's all around the world, man.
That's where that deep connection comes from, though,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that the law of authenticity is being completely real and honest with whatever your experience was, and then
Yeah.
someone else feels more comfortable, sharing their experience, and then there's just that fucking connection. And like we've shared some crazy shit, like I definitely outside of the room, like
Yeah.
outside the meetings, and I think that's why our connection is been grown.
It's
like,
honest,
so
man.
it is,
Honesty.
yeah.
Well, we went through the and I say this all the time, right? We went through the craziest emotional time of our fucking lives. Like getting clean, that is emotional, scary, crazy, ever changing, volatile, all of it. And like to go through it together, like, damn, dude, that's like a blessing, an absolute blessing, bro. And I don't know. I don't want to trade that. I don't want to trade that.
Me either.
I watched someone, clean up the wreckage of their past in the program, and it just fucking blew my mind, dude. I had like 8 what I have? I had like 8 months of sobriety. No, I was coming up on a year. So I had a year of sobriety. Someone in the program was facing almost 3 years in prison
Yeah.
from like past, past charges. And
She stayed sober.
she stayed sober the whole time through all the court and everything, and continued. And she's currently serving that time. And like the power of the program, there was like 25 or 30 of us came from the fellowship
Yeah, we packed
to
that
the
courthouse,
fucking
dude.
courthouse and tried to like talk on her behalf to the judge to try to get him to lower the sentence, which it was supposed to be like 5 years, and she got like 2.75. But that's the power of the program and walking through hardships in recovery
Together, man.
Yeah.
together. And she stayed sober through the whole fucking thing.
Dude, I don't think she has no idea what that did for me.
Me,
to
me-
see
she-
that,
yeah, I know.
because I was still early. I was still new. Like I was.
I'm like, I'll be in fucking
well, you were coming
Mexico.
up on a year, so,
I got a year.
like
I got a
4,
year.
5, 6 months around there, something like that. Right?
I'll never forget the day. I got a year on February 18th. Then she went in on February 23rd.
Yeah. Well, I just remember like thinking, because I remember everyone talking like, oh yeah, and I'm like, holy shit, this is looming over her head, and she's still here. She's still working the program. She's still staying sober. Like, holy fuck, dude. Like that's crazy. And it just it inspired me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Same
it
here,
absolutely inspired me, dude. Like
Her walk inspired me to like.
right. And who knows? Maybe that saves a life. Just like you being open and honest with your shit, your grimy shit, right? That maybe that kid's life is saved because maybe one day that secret becomes too big to keep. And maybe he takes himself out over it and he starts using whatever. And now his addiction accelerates and his life, whatever. Like that can save a fucking life. Your hardship, your experience, your trauma can save a damn life. You know?
And that goes for everybody.
No,
Not
I
just
know.
me.
I'm just saying because you just said the story. But yeah, absolutely. Every single one of
That's
us.
the power and the beauty of it, man. That's the shit I like to talk about.
Hell yeah.
What'd you feel? What are you thinking, man? Like, how'd you get over this, dude? Like, one of the things, dude, remain teachable, dude. Like, because like I don't just because I got a year and I got a couple or few days of sobriety, dude. Like, I still don't know shit.
Yeah.
I still don't. I'm still a kid, like we said, dude. I still need to learn so much more about life, dude, and the meaning and purpose. And like, dude, we had a big talk about this, dude. Like, God, do I really not have control over a goddamn fucking thing in my life, dude? Like, the more I take my will, the more I fuck it up. And, and it's like, we went through this whole crazy career of addiction, dude, and like just to end us here,
Right?
right?
Do I have any control over my plan?
Right.
Like, yeah, I set plans, but then it's like, boop, boop. Oh, I'm gonna throw you here. I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna, it's wild, man. It's unexplainable, and like you said, in the whole scheme of the universe and everything, I know absolutely nothing.
It goes to acceptance.
I'm just sharing
man.
my experience, and that's it.
The meeting today I went to was about acceptance, dude. And the more I just stay in acceptance with everything and I don't not try to control things, life's all right, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
And things pass. Go through all this crazy shit. Stop comparing myself to people, and it's like, dude, I'm chilling right now, bro. It's okay, man. Why you looking at me like that, dude?
Just digging the conversation.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
I'm chilling. dude.
It's just, it brings just joy, like, to us. Like, there's always just joy, man. Like, we have the choice to switch our perspective every day. Like, no matter what, if you want to believe it or not, like, we have the choice to change our attitude.
No, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, dude. Hardships.
Hardships.
They're
What
gonna
a good
happen. There was, yeah.
There was.
Fire.
Wouldn't trade them, dude. I
Yeah.
really
No.
wouldn't.
Me either, man.
Lessons, man. I look at hardships as lessons now.
Oh,
Like-
absolutely.
Like we said a couple episodes ago, man. We've been through some shit.
Yeah, dude.
We've been through some
That's
shit.
like-
and that's made me me,
Hell
dude.
yeah,
I've been through
It's
some
like-
shit.
I totally agree, dude.
I
'cause
told
I'm
my
just
buddy,
like-
I was like, don't fucking forget who you are, bro, or what you went through.
Mhm.
Like, I know
So
it's like
true.
an ego, like, I'm like, you're a badass, bro. Like, you made it through some shit, man.
people
like,
in recovery are
Oh, dude, it's some of the
beasts,
strongest people
dude.
I've ever met in my
Yeah.
life.
beast, dude. I've like seen some. I heard some stories, dude, and like, dude, you stay sober through all of that,
Yeah.
dude. Like, that's insane.
I know.
Doing H&I, dude. After telling them my detox center, there's like their mouths just
They all go start apologizing to their nurses.
and then they're the guys that I'm doing the commitment with. They're like, yeah, so you guys are fucking living it up right here. You got shit to complain about. Dude. It was funny.
I
Dude.
feel like
It
that.
was funny, dude.
Like, Lord forbid I ever go to detox. I'm not complaining about shit as long as I'm not in Tijuana, dude.
I miss that place, man.
That's fucking weird.
shit,
Dude,
yeah, weird.
it goes back to what you say. Like, I am grateful for all
No,
my
for sure.
hardships,
Yeah.
man. I'm grateful that I went through that experience, dude, because it's
I am too.
Me too.
it's
I
it
love
blows
I,
my
No,
mind,
I'm grateful
dude.
he went through that experience.
no, I love it, dude.
Yeah.
all the shit that you've been through, man.
I love
Like,
it. Like, now I've learned to accept it, and now I first I accepted it, and now I look back and reflect, and I'm fucking grateful for
Oh yeah.
all of that, dude. Because now I can look at it as some lessons, like, and not either do the same thing or just it's just awesome, man. Like, I was talking to my mom about that stuff, like how everything is just, I'm extremely grateful for every experience I've ever had.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
yeah.
Fucking
Just
badass.
hearing about your childhood, like you get emotional, dude. I wanna. We should do an episode on childhood, dude.
I told you guys this,
I wanna do
dude.
that shit, man.
Coming up.
Coming up.
dude.
Coming to you live.
Coming to you live from
Why we are
Youngstown,
the way
Ohio.
we are.
Foreshadowing.
Oh yeah,
Oh, shit.
right on. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation. I really did. I thought
Yeah.
it was. I think I always get stoked. I don't know. I just when it comes to that aspect, I think that's when it comes to that aspect of recovery, the grind and then the triumph and then paying it forward. That shit fucking gets me going, man. So I really
Mhm.
enjoyed it. Donnie, you know what time it is, baby.
What time is it, Dylan?
It's the Daily Donnie time.
The Daily Donny time.
Damn. So there's three things that we have control over. It's our mindset, our actions, and our reactions.
All right, that is up for debate on the Daily Donnie.
And if you disagree,
Fuck you.
leave a comment. Fuck you. No, I'm just
Subscribe message.
Well, thank you for that. Goomer, Jordan, Donnie, thank you guys for keeping me clean today. Everybody listening, thanks for being a part of the recovery. Please hit the subscribe button. If you know anybody who could benefit from the show, please share it with them. Send us a message, leave us a comment, give us a like. Hashtag Team Goomer. We're going to try to start that up.
Stop, dude. Shout out to your pops.
But seriously, thank you guys very much. Thank you all out there. I thank you so much for listening to another episode of Not So Anonymous. What that today?